Clarke, earlier you referred to the Constitution. Let's go into specifics about, say, the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments and how they apply to DWI.
Absolutely. Most people are familiar with their 5th Amendment Miranda rights. And unfortunately, those typically don't play a big role in DWIs because when you're detained on the side of the road, until you're really arrested or in custody, they can use what you say against you out there on the side of the road in court. So the 5th Amendment's not a huge issue in DWIs, although it can be in hospital cases or cases where you may have admitted to something after you've been arrested.
But then there's the 4th Amendment with search and seizure.
Oh, the Constitution is ref with things that are available for defenses. Number one is the 4th Amendment. DWIs, unlike just about any other crime out there, most other crimes, if they're committed, the police go get a warrant for your arrest and arrest you. DWIs, they arrest you without a warrant. So DWIs have to fit within a narrow exception of the 4th Amendment. The 4th Amendment, just to remind you, says that we are free from unreasonable searches and seizures. To be reasonable, a seizure has to be based on articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed. So when you're pulled over, you are seized under the 4th Amendment, and the question becomes, is it a legal seizure? And of course, the way you define that is you look at individual case law.
Right. The 6th Amendment I was curious about too. Isn't that the one about right to counsel? And
it is. 6th Amendment comes into DWIs routinely. North Carolina's got some great case law that came out of the North Carolina Supreme Court, specifically State versus Knoll and several other cases which deal with your absolute right to gather evidence in preparation for trial. The 6th Amendment says you have a right to counsel, but it also says you have a right to a fair trial. DWIs are unlike any other crime. If you are arrested for murder and locked up the night you're arrested, you can go out and gather your evidence after you get out on bail a week later or a month later. Well, in a DWI, and the North Carolina Supreme Court has recognized this, the evidence of your guilt or innocence disappears out of your body over a 4 or 5 hour period. So if you're locked up without having access to friends and family for 4 or 5 hours after you've been arrested, you've lost the ability to gather evidence as to whether or not you were sober or not.
That's interesting. Thanks for bringing that up, because you also mentioned case law, and we're going to go more into case law in our next segment.